Five Talents was started in 1998 at a global meeting of the Anglican Church, where leaders were formulating their response to the Millennium Development Goals. The founders wanted to guard the dignity of the poor and assist them by creating jobs and opportunities to rise out of poverty. Today, Five Talents provides access to financial services for women and men in some of the most risky and remote communities in the world, communities not often served by commercial microcredit agencies. Our work has inspired individuals and organizations who want to effectively fight poverty and empower women and men. Five Talents is currently working in 12 countries with the intent to expand our programs to meet the growing needs we are finding in each community. Each country program has a different timetable and a different set of objectives. For example, in Burundi, where Five Talents and our partner, the Mothers Union, we've already served more than 10,000 women. Remarkably, there are 50,000 more women and men eager to join the program. We intend to serve each and every one of them. Few organizations attack the problem of poverty as holistically as Five Talents. We don't believe that a few microloans are enough to transform a survival business into a sustainable source of income. Every community is different, and in the places where we work, off the beaten path, where large for-profit microfinance institutions rarely go, women and men often lack basic education and training. Through leveraging literacy, numeracy, and business skills training, we ensure our beneficiaries are fully prepared to run their own business. A woman named Rose I met in South Sudan told me, "Before we didn't know anything, but now I can count, I can make change, I can write my own name, and I have my own business." We are incredibly efficient. With scarce resources, we empower women and men by working closely with trusted local institutions. We believe that the problem of poverty is just too big to try and go it alone. Our Indigenous partners are the hands and the feet of the communities where we work, allowing us to stay true to our mission, to bring financial services to impoverished women and men living in Latin America, Asia, and Africa. We are effective because we put our money where our mouth is. 80% of the donations are reserved for programs. So donors can always be sure that their gifts are being used as efficiently and as effectively as possible. We track our impact by looking at the number of jobs that have been created, the number of loans distributed and repaid, and the amount of money that has been saved. But there are other metrics that show how our programs are strengthening the fabric of the household and the greater community over the long term. For example, we survey program participants about the number of people for whom they provide, about their relationship with their spouse, and about the changes in their community at large. One village chief told me that program participants are buying less alcohol and more school books, and that the number of domestic disputes he handled fell from 5 per week to 2. These are the kind of real-life changes that Five Talents facilitates. We distinguish ourselves from larger microfinance institutions in several ways. First of all, we are a nonprofit organization. We're not out to make money off of the women and men who participate in the savings and loan groups. We provide microloans, but we are increasingly helping people mobilize their savings. Secondly, we target high-risk, underserved communities where the percentage of people who are unbanked can be as high as 99%, as in Peru. Traditional for-profit microfinance organizations do not go where we go, especially in post-conflict areas where we work, like Burundi and South Sudan. I am proud to share some clear evidence of impact from our programs over the years. We've mobilized over $6 million to build the capacity of local organizations. We've provided capital for more than 150,000 microloans, and we've assisted more than 85,000 micro-entrepreneurs. It's that last number that's the most important, because every micro-entrepreneur who has received our services represents, on average, 7 other people who are dependent on him or her for their living. Besides helping these women and men launch or grow a business, we're teaching them to manage their money, market their enterprise, and see themselves as having dignity and value. Because we focus our programs on underserved, unbanked communities, we take on quite a bit of risk. Many of the towns and villages where we serve do not enjoy the benefits of any industry. In war-torn villages, women and men must cobble together a living with the resources around them. The corn that's growing beside their house, the chickens that are in their backyard, and the empanadas that they bake in their tiny ovens. When disaster strikes, their livelihood is threatened. As a result, the programs do not always develop at the rate in which we would hope. But nevertheless, we know that we are making a long-term investment in the transformation of a community that would otherwise have no access to key financial services and business training. During my trip to Burundi, I spoke with just a few of the 10,000 women and men we are serving there alongside our local partner. I also heard about the more than 50,000 other women and men who are anxious to join our program. With additional resources, we would be able to expand this program. The same could be said about the growth potential for our program partners in Myanmar, Indonesia, and Peru. Underserved communities in these places are calling out for savings opportunities, microloans, and business skills training, and we will be ready and equipped to provide them once we receive additional funding and support. Many of the women and men in our programs run very small microenterprises, but some in our more mature programs, for example, in the Philippines, have established such robust businesses that they are in need of larger loans and more advanced training. We also have existing programs that want to expand into new communities, and we are constantly approached by folks who want us to consider working with new partners in new countries.